So in my last SHTF Loadout video, I asked for a lot of input as to what I should change because I don't know everything. I'm not a professional in the sense of that type of background, and I definitely didn't want to just assume I knew what was best when it came to setting up my belt as well as setting up a plate carrier. So a lot of you gave me a lot of good information in the comments section, which I definitely appreciate, and I went ahead and actually made some of the changes that were suggested to me. So we'll go through the belt as well as the plate carrier. I'll tell you what I changed and some of my reasonings as to why, and just so you're aware, that's the whole point of this channel. It's not just about me telling you what to do, it's also so that I can learn and grow from all the advice and input that I get from you all. So make sure you comment below if there's anything that I changed that you disagree with, or if it's something that you originally suggested. Make sure you say hello so I can thank you for doing that for me. But at the end of the day, we're all just trying to get better prepared and more acquiesce to the future that we're definitely facing at this point in time. And right now, what I will say is that with your help, I'm getting more efficient with the gear that I have, thanks to a lot of the input from people who have real world experience. So thanks for that. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the plate carrier close up, and then we'll do the belt afterward. And then I want all of your input as well. All right, so this is the Premier Body Armor Core plate carrier, and just in case you're interested in any of their stuff, they do support the channel, and I got links for them down below in the description as well as a pinned comment, as well as a discount code. So just in case that helps you out and you're looking to build out your own plate carrier, that's a good place to get started. But the first thing you'll notice that I changed here on the plate carrier is actually the removal of the knife. I used to have a K-Bar KB18 harpoon style knife mounted right here on the front, and the idea behind that was that I had another knife on my belt, so it was redundancy mixed with the idea of being able to access it very quickly and easily. But a lot of you mentioned a couple things that I thought about. One was that it impeded my magazines being retrieved from the pouches right here, and two was that it actually became a knife that could be used by an assailant if they were on top of me and I wasn't able to access it myself. So there was a couple of good reasons behind that, and the fact that I had a knife on the belt already meant that I had extra weight that I didn't need. So I removed the knife, and the other thing you'll notice here on the front is that the Petzl headlamp that I had on the plate carrier from before is now gone as well. Now the reason behind that is because it had a glare. The housing itself is like a clear plastic, and then the lens itself had a glare. So basically I was more easily going to give away my position by having that right here. So I actually took it off and put it on the belt in the pouch, so that way I can still use it if I need it, but it's not giving away my position and creating an issue for me when it comes to trying to stay hidden. So those two things were immediately removed, and I thought that was great information. Now, move to the side of the plate carrier, and now this is my right side. So I actually removed all of the pouches and everything I had over here. I used to have my radio mounted here, I used to have a tourniquet mounted here, and all of that got removed because what was brought to my attention was that I needed to have this side slick so I could access my pistol without anything impeding it no matter what. So I immediately removed everything off the right side of the plate carrier. Now I can draw my pistol without anything being in the way. Now because of that, I did have to run the radio cable from the speaker mount here all the way across the backside, and the reason for that is because of the quick detach on the left side of this plate carrier basically not working properly if there's a wire still attached to the rest of the plate carrier. So everything had to come around the backside this way, but at the end of the day, slicking this up and making it so it doesn't impede my pistol draw was a good idea that a lot of you had, and I went with it because it makes sense. So we'll go ahead and go to the back. Nothing really changed here. Now the water bladder is removable, and if I eventually move over to carrying some type of rucksack along with this whole setup, I might remove this or maybe even just put it in the rucksack or attach it to the outside of the pack depending on the configuration. But at the end of the day, this is still here, but this is good in the sense of hydration, and it's easily removable very quickly in case I can't get into a vehicle or something like that. So just keep that in mind. And then on the left side of the plate carrier now, you do see where I have my radio mounted, and my radio is actually mounted in a vertical position now rather than horizontal like it used to be, and same with the tourniquet. Now the radio is still accessible here. It still has enough length on the wire in order to pull it out and use it and access it if need be. And of course, I still need comms, so they moved over to the left side, and there is now no pistol magazines on this left side, which is what used to be there. I used to run a double pistol mag pouch right here, and basically according to the comments and what a lot of you are saying is that I had too many magazines for pistols, and it's not really a primary go-to anyway, so the additional weight of the pistol mags was unnecessary because I'm already carrying 2 extra on my belt, and I really needed to slick up the carrier more and be more, I guess you should say, focused on my primary weapon system, which would of course be a rifle. So that being said, Radio's here now, easily accessible, still usable just like it was before, but vertically mounted. And the reason for that is so I could vertically mount the tourniquet right here, and I mounted it upside down because a lot of you had a good point about it being upside down now being a little bit easier to pull out. And what's nice about that is that I can actually access this pouch with my right or left arm easily, and then because it's upside down, gravity kind of helps me retrieve the tourniquet a little bit faster if need be. So that is how I set up the plate carrier and made some changes there, and I'm sure a lot of you were some of the people who actually gave me some of those ideas. The dump pouch is still here on the left side, and I think that's just a good thing to have, and I didn't have a good way to move it to my belt line, so it maintains its position here, but it's not in the way, and if I'm using it, I definitely need it, but if I don't need it, it's really not in the way, and it's very minimal in the sense of what it causes in the sense of spatial use and everything else. So I wanted to go ahead and show you all those changes. Leave me your thoughts down below if this is stuff that you had input on or anything like that, and we'll go ahead and move over to the belt system now. Okay, so now for the belt. There's been minimal changes here, but definitely some that you should be made aware of. And like I said, this is all because of your input, so thank you very much for that. I'm still running the Raptor Tactical Odin 3 belt right here, but what I did is I moved my SHGI Taco mag pouches down just a couple of MOLLE notches, which are generally about 1 inch by 1 inch. So a couple inches down, which gives me better access to my rifle mags on speed reloads, and it's just a little bit more comfortable and gives me a little bit more room to bend and stuff in the front. Now the other thing I did was I took the knife out from behind the Refuge Medical SOB kit, which is a small of the back first aid kit. Very awesome and a very good company if you're looking for first aid stuff. I'll put a link down below for it. But basically I took the knife I had on the plate carrier, moved it to my belt line and mounted it horizontally. Now it's on the left side of my IFAK, whereas before the handle was coming out the right side. And a lot of you mentioned that that could impede with my sidearm, and at the same time, if I have a sidearm and I'm using my right hand to draw it, why am I going to need my right hand for my knife instead? So what this does is it allows me to access the knife with my left hand, and it also gave me more space on the belt mounting it this way, which is more comfortable and takes a very hard object out from right where my spine is and could make falling a little bit safer in the sense of what it might do to my back. So those are all things everybody mentioned, and I rolled with it. And I said, you know what, you're probably right. So now I have a single knife on the kit, which is lighter weight. This is a more capable knife in the sense of bushcraft and everything else. So I'm basically stuck with the one knife and the one that's more capable and mounted it in a way that's more reasonable for use with my offhand, which is my left, okay? So, still have the same first aid kit on the back, great first aid kit, really can't go wrong with that. The pouch I had, which is the Raptor Tactical Small Utility Pouch, I moved it over to the right side, and the way it's mounted right now, it doesn't interfere at all with my pistol. There's plenty of space between the holster of the pistol and the pouch itself, and what's nice is that when I do draw, this doesn't come into play at all, but I still have access to the pouch even while wearing it. So all of my quick necessities that are in here in the sense of like energy or you know, batteries or whatever else I might need, I can still access in the pouch without having to take the belt off, but it's not in the way of my pistol at all either. So it's in a better position now, and when sitting down and everything else, it's also in an optimum position. So this is in a better place, and like I said before, I've got the Petzl light in here now as well. Not much else has changed what's in here, besides I did add a couple of those Bravo company, I believe, wipes, which are basically like antibacterial wipes, which are good for basically toilet paper type uses. And that was something that was mentioned to me in the last video was, hey, no TP, you're gonna need some at some point and you better have it. So I thought I better throw a couple of those in there, and then the Petzl light's in there now too, which is great. And I just don't really want to unpack this whole thing again because it's a little hefty in the sense of trying to get it repacked. And you all saw exactly what's in here otherwise from the previous video. Now, other than that, I still have the gloves up front, and I still have the holster in the same position. This is for the SIG P320. I also have a holster for a Glock, well, it's a Glock 45, so basically a Glock 19 holster. But at the end of the day, there wasn't much changes on the belt, but enough to where it made some differences, it made some efficiencies, and it saved a little bit of weight. So this is the stuff that I really appreciate the community doing for me, and honestly, I think the belt now is just set up a little better, and it's a little more comfortable. It makes for faster reloads, and that's all we're really trying to do, right? We need to improve. All right, so those are the changes I made when it came to the SHTF Loadout. And like I said, all of this was because of what you all said in the comments and all the advice and the suggestions that I was given. So I really do appreciate that. So make sure you give me any other advice or tips you have down in the comments below. And this is the point of what we do here. I want to learn from you all as much as I hope that you can learn from me. And then through my mistakes, maybe the rest of the community can avoid making them, which can be expensive at times and can also help people get past a certain learning curve where they were stuck on or something along those lines. comments. Either way, thank you so much for what you do, and thank you so much for all of this important advice. I mean, honestly, the expertise that's in the comments section is amazing. And the fact that people are here with real world professional experience that are willing to share their thoughts and ideas based on this type of gear is extremely valuable. So thank you so much for that. And if you ever have anything else from me, go to magicprepper.com. You can always send me a message or something along those lines. But I just wanted to say thank you, because without all of the input I get here on this channel, I wouldn't have made these changes, and I wouldn't have as efficient of gear selection as I have right now. So thank you so much for that. And without anything else to say about it, that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.